Windy night here at ABD Stadium in Broady Valley Park, so we do apologise if the wind does affect the microphones, as we can quickly just go through the starting lineups for both sides. For the Melbourne Knights, Jordan Gifkins in goal, a back four of Corey Sewell, Aidan Bryce, Nikola Jokovic and Nick Glavin, with Joey Franjic and Marjan Switkovic in midfield, with most likely Mohamed Awad just in front of them, with Gian Albano and Attila Offley on the wings, with Hamish Watson, who has been in hot scoring form in the Cup games, leading the line, with Thomas Scoff, Calvin Whitney, Caleb Mikulich, Anthony Duzel and Luke Jurcic. On the bench for Bulleen Lions, it's Wyatt Chant has been recalled in replacing Alex Pavlidis in goal, with a back four of Eli Lutmer, Andrew Mullett, George Stavridis and Nicholas Volgaris. Within midfield, it's Peter Sawan with Daniel Scopoletti, and with him it's Philip Petreski, and on the wings it's Josh Knight and Jonathan Kuol, with Daniel McLennan up top. So Alex Pavlidis on the bench, Toab Tufak, Slaven Veranasevic, Iki Jawadi and Anthony Del Medico is on the bench. So Adam Bavkar is the man in the middle, as hopefully the wind settles down for us for a bit longer in this game. And it will be Melbourne Knights to kick off. Not too far away. It was Hume City last night who actually, this is their home ground, ABD Stadium. They got past Moreland Zebras by a goal to nil. Marco Delic with a wonderful effort, chips over the goalkeeper. And we are now underway here in the second semi-final of Dockerty Cup action. That's Melbourne Knights. Patient build-up. There is a strong breeze pushing to the left of your screen. As the ball's into the channel, Offley. In fact, it's Gian Albano. Can he get a shot away? Lays it off to Watson. Good challenge in there. The ball ricochets and Chant will be able to pick the ball up. As you can see how much the wind is going to affect this game, as that long ball is played out for a goal kick. Ball has bounced away, as it's going to be a difficult night here. My name is Chris Gleeson and welcome to the commentary, Josip Herzog, as we batten down the hatches on the scaffolding here as we try to brace ourselves in what is going to be a pretty weather affected game.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for having me here tonight. Like you said, Broadmeadows Valley Park, ABD Stadium. We know this is one of the windiest venues in Victorian football, and I mean, it's going from right to left, so it will be affecting the Knights in the first half, but that just means it's going to affect Bulleen in the second half. So we can't say that there's going to be any excuses from either side, but I'm just excited for this one, especially after last night's game. Like you said, Hume City, the first team through to the 2019 Dockerty Cup final, and one of these two sides will be joining them as the balls are flying away. Attila Offley gives the ball across the pitch there, so Bulleen can resume with play.
This ball goes forward, looking for Knights. It was Franjic who tries to get it clear, but the winds once again affected the clearance, and the Knights have to concede the corner. It really is difficult conditions. Still, both sides have to battle this out. Bulleen really have to make most of their advantage here in the first half. As the cross comes in, headed away, and the Knights get it slightly clear. Stavridis trying to get the cross in, gets another deflection, and will go out for a Bulleen Lions throw. Bulleen Lions, who were relegated last season and having increased form in NPL2 as they look to try to get back to the top division. Nikola Jokovic for the Knights to throw it back in. Falls for Offley. Gets the foul. And now the Knights look to play short. As Aidan Bryce and Joey Franjic, who's done a good job since dropping back into a central midfield role. Now it's Offley. Confidence would be starting to get a little bit high after getting on the score sheet on the weekend against Avondale, which was an impressive win from the Knights. It's Chant clears it at the midfield. Franjic or what? Mullet will pick it up. Go back to his goalkeeper. And they look to play it out to Lutmer. So Eli Lutmer over the top. Franjic gets there in front of Knight. Now it's Corey Sewell, who has now been playing in that defensive midfield role the last couple of games. You were saying, Josip?
Yes, of course. Look, I saw him play against Avondale last week. He went up to a defensive midfield role, and I feel like as a fullback, I mean, he's been pretty, useful for the Knights.
Well, here's a chance for Watson. Can he find a teammate? Flashes it in. Just two fist punches it away by Chant.
Yeah, as I was saying, he's been pretty useful for the Knights as a fullback, but with Nick Glavin coming back to the Knights from Dandy Thunder, that gives the Knights staff another option in fullback, and it gives them the opportunity to use Sewell as a defensive midfielder, and it's worked for them, especially in last game. And he's a good player. I mean, his delivery, his execution, his vision, his knowledge of the game, it's exceptional. So it'll be fantastic to see how it works out tonight in these tough conditions.
Looks like there is a change from the official lineup. It looks like Marjan Svitkovic isn't starting. Looks like Ivan Gurgic is starting in the heart of the Knights midfield. So just looking at the official paperwork right now, so that change has been made. Ball finds its way with Phil Petreski. Peter Sarwan fights for it. Throwing to Bulleen. And McLennan gets the foul in that tussle there with Nikola Jokovic. Ben Iverson, who's been in really hot form for Bulleen this year, not in the lineup tonight. He's got 11 league goals to his name, plus a few extra in the cup. Now Bulleen. Petreski. The ball forward. Almost a mistake at the back there by the experienced Stavridis, but manages to find his goalkeeper. Gang Bulleen go for that ball over the top. Now Franjic. So it's a cautious opening from both sides so far, just trying to negate the conditions as the ball finds its way to Knight. Sewell wins it back quickly and finds Bryce. Glavin.
Very interesting to see Anthony Giselle there in the middle of the park. Wearing the number 6 tonight, so usually number 19 I believe for the Knights, but he's got the number 6 on the back tonight. So for the fans watching, that is Anthony Giselle in the midfield. As Franjic gets the ball, he's wearing the captain's armband.
Watson couldn't find a teammate. Who's Big Ivan Gergic? It's normally in the number 6 though, isn't it? So it's definitely Drizel. So great pick up there. That's why we've got you here, Josip.
Well, yeah, Drizel's wearing the 6, so I believe Ivan Gergic actually wears the 13, wasn't it?
Sorry, he's got the 13.
Wasn't the 6? Wasn't the 6 Tomislav Uskok?
That's right.
Wasn't that the 6?
That was 6. Big Tomislav Uskok. How can I forget that?
Yes. So Anthony Drizel's been given the Uskok number. That's a big one.
So know how big of a player Tomislav Uskok's been for the Melbourne Knights. We wish him all the best as his adventures up in Sydney.
Yeah, well, he's apparently, I've been hearing that he's been doing some damage over there for Sydney United 58 in the New South Wales NPL. So good to see that he's back playing football, the sport that he loves. As Gifkins looks to fight the wind, as you can tell there, the wind's just taking it out. It's very, very challenging conditions here tonight.
So he struggled a couple of times, Gifkins, with his clearances. It'd be a nervy night for a goalkeeper trying to kick the ball away against the wind. And as always, we are live and interactive on the Facebook app. You can also watch this on the YouTube channels here on Football Victoria. Dockerty Cup semi-finals, proudly presented by Mitre. Ball in the midfield, Sewell. In the end, Bulleen try to clear it. It's going to find its way to Jurkovic, and a nervy one again for the keeper, who's just gone right up in the air, and it's going to be picked up at the edge of the box. Good touch there by McLennan. Weight of red shirts gets it clear. Glavin around the corner. Now a wad.
Well, that just goes to show, Chris. I mean, like you say, it's a nervy night for goalkeepers, and something as simple as that from Gifkins can find its way back in the net without you being able to stop it. So it will be a very nervy night for Gifkins in the first half, and then Chant in the second half. But I guess that's just all a part of the game. That's all a part of the game we love, and that's something that the players will have to adjust to and deal with. And I feel like it's going to be tough for the defenders as well. I mean, sometimes you get in an opportunity where you have to sort of clear your lines, clear the ball away, and it can go wrong. But Offley on the break here.
His first touch trying to get past Scopoletti. Scopoletti's done well. The ball goes out up the line. Once again, we do apologise for the, as you'll be able to hear, the wind through the headsets here. We're up on the scaffolding at Broady Valley Park, which doesn't offer much wind protection. So Muhammad Awad for the Knights. What can he create? In the end, it's not much as Chant is able to pick the ball up. Up in the air. Franich doesn't let it bounce. It'll find its way to Glavin. John Coel had his back. Now Aidan Bryce for the Knights. And Bob Blaze saying, hold your mic out like a windsock. Trust me, mate, we are trying our absolutely best for everyone here as Knight breaks for Bulleen. In the end, it's taken a touch, and Adam Bavkar says it will be a corner. So another corner for Bulleen, who, as you'd expect with these conditions and having that advantage of the winds, started the more brightly of the two sides.
Well, we were having a little chat pre-game there, Chris, and you told me that you're feeling a little cup set tonight. Would you like to expand on that one?
Well, I just got a feeling that Bulleen, I really like that partnership of Stavridis and Mullet to hold out Hamish Watson tonight, who's now on the ball deep in defence.
I mean, does a cup set exist in the semi-finals? Or do you believe that the two teams are sort of on an equal playing field, given the conditions, given the scheduling, given how much football they've played, especially as two teams who have made it into who have qualified for the national rounds? does a cup set exist?
I believe it does, especially for Bulleen. If you look at the sides that they've gotten through to get to this stage, they've beaten Sandown Lions, Murray United, Northcote City and St Albans. So they've beaten a couple in their league, but they haven't had the opportunity to go up against a top division side. Well, Bulleen are one of the more stronger NPL 2 sides, but they've got plenty of top division NPL experience in their squad. But I still think it would be a bit of an upset if the Melbourne Knights can't get past Bulleen Lions. Melbourne Knights, by their own admission, expect a lot from this season. They expect to be playing finals, and at the moment, as we can see, they're just outside the top 6, and they've qualified for the FFA Cup, which is great for them to get back on the national stage in a big game against Adelaide United at Summer Street. But it's still a trophy to win. I think the last time they won this competition was 2014, I believe, so they'll be looking to do their best.
Yeah, well, you got that one correct there. That was against South Springvale, actually. That was a 1-0 win in extra time, 2014. But the last 2 years has had Bentley Greens and Heidelberg United written all over it in the final. They've gone one apiece over the last 2 years, but I had a look at the road to the semi-final, if you will, for both of these teams that we're watching tonight. And round 4 had the Knights win 7-0 and Bulleen win 6-0, and then the Knights won 3-0 and Bulleen won 2-0. And then they both had 2-1 wins in the round of 16, which is round 6 FFA Cup. And then it was 4-2 for the Knights and 3-1 for Bulleen. So they've had very similar results sort of in each game that have been heading towards this game. And I feel like with the conditions, I mean, in my eyes anyways, I feel like they're pretty even heading into this game. Both sides have played a lot of football coming into these games. A lot of midweek ties. And you have a look at Bulleen. Bulleen have accumulated the most points in NPL 2 in both divisions. So they have been playing a lot of effective football, and when I use the word effective, I mean they've been making the most of the time they spend on the pitch. So I feel like they will post up a very, very hard wall to break down for the Knights. And you just look there, Hamish Watson, look how deep he has to come to receive the ball. He's done well there to get the foul, but that's not the position where you'd expect to see Hamish Watson receiving the ball. So it'll be very interesting as we go forward.
We've seen that with the Knights, against this gale force sort of wind, that all the attack is dropping quite deep to help out their midfield and be a little bit more compact. There's Attila Offley, and Gang picks it up deep and past just to the wrong side of Joey Franjic. He's taken over captain duty since Tomislav Ulskog, as we said, have made his way to Sydney. Bjorkovic. Now they look for Watson. The wind will take it away. Lutmar trying to play it into the path of McLennan. And Knight, and it was cut out. Druzel. In the end, Franjic just has to clear it up, looking for Offley. Wins the header against Scopoletti, but Mullet's there to clear. McLennan over the top. Ball's not going to find its way into the box, so Gifkins will just shield it out, but now he's going to have to delegate another goal kick.
Yeah, well, if you're Bulleen here, you just put the press up, make sure that Knight, Kuol and McLennan have made sure that all the options are gone for Gifkins, and then it's just going to force Gifkins to go long, and then when it goes long, you just have to make sure you press. You got 4 or 5 seconds to win the ball back, and they can make it a very hard and difficult first half for the Knights, as we did see them do it to St Albans in the last round. Within the first 5 minutes, they were 2-0 up, and then you're in a driving seat. So.
Well, in the end, once again, Gifkins struggling with these kicks. He's pretty understandable. Can Bulleen make the most of it? Ball over the chop. McLennan still going into the box. McLennan, and he shoots over the top. It was a difficult angle, but what a great opportunity that was for Bulleen to take the lead.
Well, just before the 20th minute mark here at ABD Stadium, McLennan had that opportunity and it came to his left foot, and
Almost another mistake of the back this time. Gifkins just has to clear it.
As the rain starts to drop down here at ABD Stadium, and if you look towards the light, you'll see how much this wind really is affecting this tie.
It's Bulleen with another corner. The Knights had to deal with another swirling ball that they head back for a corner, so opportunity on the delivery here for Bulleen. Plenty of big players up as we got ourselves a false start.
Neither the corner flag nor the ball wants to stay where they're put.
Now the cross comes in, close to the keeper, over the top! Bulleen Lions make the most of the wind advantage, and Phil Petreski has scored straight from the corner.
Well, I mean, Chris, how often do you see something like that? Phil Petreski on the left boot, wearing the number 10. He's put it in straight from the corner, and that's what we were talking about just a minute ago. Taking advantage of the conditions that you have been put in front of, and Jordan Gifkins will be absolutely kicking himself that one was let through.
Well, it was pretty smart there on the line by Mullet, who was close to that back post, and by doing so that pulled the Knights defender that was guarding that back post off the post, and that opened the opportunity for Phil Petreski to go over the top. So advantage Bulleen Lions. As the Knights through Sewell. Giselle. Glavin has to go back. And now they find Attila Offley in a bit of room in the midfield. Plays it into the channel looking for Watson. And in the end, a bit of indecision between Mullet and Chance. In the end, they get it clear, and Scopoletti will bring it forward for Bulleen. Poor pass finds Offley. In the end, Peter Sarwan's chopped him down, and the Knights will have this foul.
Yeah, Attila Offley, I feel like he's playing with a bit of poise today. I mean that goal that he was able to get himself, it's always a confidence booster, and especially against the league leaders, to be able to get yourself on the mark. He does already have a few, I believe it's 1 or 2 he scored against Murrelbach in Melbourne Knights' 7-0 win back in round 4. But he is confident tonight, and that's something they'll need, especially now that the Knights find themselves 1-0 down.
Now it's Sewell. Goes for a flat delivery, guarded at the near post, and it will go out for the Melbourne Knights corner. As you said, the rain's starting to come through here. Lucky I've got the cameraman to the right side of me to block all the rain out for us, Yossip.
Yeah.
Near post. Knights clip it to the back post. It's all Bulleen there. And in the end, Mullet will have to concede another corner.
Yeah, but see, the ball was sort of drifting in the air, and Mullet has headed it back out for a corner, and had he turned around and actually had a quick head check, you would have seen that he was in acres of space there. But they've conceded the corner, but it won't be as easy for Corey Sewell to deliver this one, as the wind will be pushing it out of the box while he's trying to put it in.
In the end, it's a pretty decent delivery. The header is on target and eventually cleared. Will it stay alive? Shouts for a handball, not paid. It's now Bulleen look to clear over the top for Kuel. In the end, it's headed out.
Yeah, I believe he was standing there in an offside position, but Joseph Franich made sure that he does not give any opportunity there for Kuel to go forward, especially with the wind in their favour. Scopoletti plays it.
All forward. Volgaris, and in the end, ball goes out. So Scopoletti will come back, throw it in. Now Knight, and it will be another corner. So as you'd expect, Bulleen are getting the corner count to grow higher and higher. What can they do from this one? It's going to be Knight, who's seen Phil Petreski score from the other side. He might try it himself with the right foot delivery. He does go under the goalkeeper. In the end, it was headed away well by Franjic. Stavridis will keep it alive. Peter Sarwan.
you just see there how the Knights learnt from their mistake. I mean, they were all on the line making sure that it doesn't go in. But I was really impressed as...
So they keep it alive. In the end, Offley tried a couple of times to stay onside. He was always struggling to get back. Watson had to delay it to try to get him back onside, but then Bulleen realised what was going on and stepped up.
Yeah, well, Offley tried to make that early run, and I believe if Watson had turned and played it right off the go, but it's very hard to control the ball, especially in these conditions, because when you're playing a ball over the top, as soon as it gets over the line of defence, it'll just hover, and it'll give the defence an opportunity to take a couple steps back. But just taking it back to that corner kick by Corey Sewell, I was very impressed with the delivery there. As the wind's trying to push it out of the box, he managed to keep it, and it did nearly cause some problems there for Mullet and Stavridis, the centre-back pairing for the Lions, as Jordan Gifkins is going to attempt to...
Well, he gets the opportunity to try another goal kick.
I was lost for words there for a second.
It's sort of a bit like under 12s, where you see all the players get much closer to the 6-yard box. They wait for the keeper to clear. Much better effort this time by Gifkins. And in the end, the ball's headed back by Bulleen.
Yeah, it is very windy, but it's not a consistent wind. So there are little patches and moments where the wind does die off for a second or two. Maybe Gifkins found a little moment there.
So now it's Bulleen. As John Kowal is fighting for it. Does well to block the first pass by Jurkovic, and players go over. In the end, Franjic will just let it go out for a goal kick. He's one of the better referees in the competition, Adam Bafka. He will allow the game to be a little bit more physical.
Yeah, well, there's no way if you're an avid NPL Victoria fan or Football Victoria fan, there's no chance that you wouldn't have heard the name Adam Bavkar previously. Mostly gets the big games due to his success rate, as you said there. Always letting the play go, letting players decide their fate for themselves, if you will.
Jurkovic puts it out for another throw. John Kowal, who's had a quiet start to the game so far, he's now swapped wings. Scopoletti. It was a bit difficult for Knight to handle, and in the end he puts it out.
Yeah, it just shows how well, in terms of play and in terms of expectation, the Bulleen Lions are. I mean, Josh Knight there, he's not happy with himself, and you could see, but just by his body language, he was absolutely kicking himself just because of that. Always trying to stay on top of his game, always trying to be the best he can be. And I mean, they've got themselves a 1-0 lead. This is the perfect start for the Bulleen Lions, the outfit from NPL 2 East.
It's an interesting story is Josh Knight, because you've seen him get sides promoted a few times from NPL 2 and decided to stay in NPL 2, so he's definitely got the talent, but haven't really seen him have that big opportunity in the top division, and especially in recent years. He spent some time, I think, at St Albans as well as Northcote.
Yeah, well, he got as you said there, he got the promotion with St Albans Saints, he got the promotion with Northcote City, and I believe there was one more promotion in there. I just can't remember. Dandenong City, I believe.
So,
Dandenong City, yeah, I feel like that rings a bell.
One of the, was it Kuzman sort of signings there from Northcote?
Well, Kuzman had those St Albans Saints that were promoted for the first half of the season. Then he had Northcote and he had Dandy, so...
shown that he's
played it,
can get sides up in this division, but
he's played a fair bit of football under Željko Kuzman, has Josh Knight.
Balls into the channel. Lookman does well to get past the wad. Ball is cleared. There's a Bulleen player down, McLennan, I believe. He's had an injury problem the last couple of weeks and missed the game against Melbourne City on the weekend.
I think that might be Vulgaris, actually.
So we'll wait to see. In fact, it might be Peter Sarwan. So Peter Sarwan, we've eventually gotten there, Yosef.
We both got it wrong.
Here's another one that spent quite a time with Kuzman as well.
Well,
Northcote and Dandenong City.
It was Stavridis there, who's standing next to Sawan. He did point to John Mazzano down here, the touchline, for a sub. So it'll be very interesting to see if Peter Sawan can continue.
I think the fact that he's going straight up the tunnel, I don't think he will be able to continue, unfortunately. They're readying the substitution now, the Bulleen bench. So for the moment, they'll be at 10 men.
And the call comes for the substitution. So Peter Sawan will not be able to continue for the Bulleen Lions. That'll be how big of a miss will that be for them, in your eyes, Chris?
Well, he does a lot of that defensive running, quite an experienced player at this level, so wait to see the changes.
Well, it's been a good half an hour of football for the Bulleen Lions, but I feel like, as you say, Peter Sawan does that work on the defensive end, and it will be Iki Jawadi coming on for him as soon as the ball goes out of play. It'll be interesting if the Knights can take advantage here.
Bulleen now with the 10 men for the moment. Gian Albano trying to find a shooting range. It's well blocked by Bulleen. The ball's going to come back and the cross comes in. Watson once again. The ball's cleared up by the Bulleen defence. Lutma with great composure. And it was a heavy touch, so the ball with this wind will stay in play. In the end, Bulleen will see the ball eventually fall back to the goalkeeper, but a bit messy from Bulleen trying to play out of the back.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking right ahead of us here. Iki Jawadi is trying to get warm while he's waiting to come on, and I feel like it's a very, very dangerous move to just go from sitting on the bench into just playing at full ball, especially on a night like tonight as Nikola Jurkovic advances forward.
Hasn't really got anyone to aim for in the box, so has to slow the play down. Looking for the 1-2 with a wad, and no foul has been given. So in the end, the referee. So we have to see that substitution now comes on Iki Jawadi for Peter Sawan.
Yeah, I believe Iki Jawadi will want to get onto the ball as fast as he can to get some sprints into his legs, as it is very, very cold here. I mean, Chris, we are absolutely decked out in jackets and layers. You've got gloves on, and the guys are out there in shorts.
And Sewell will cross it in. Dangerous ball. In the end, Bulleen again deal with it. Now quite a good side, especially defensively in the air. The defence is really set up for a night like this, where they'll be forcing the Knights as wide as they possibly can. A wad. Chevsky, the goal scorer. All in the midfield. Bryce will just cushion it. Drizel. Looking to play forward. Offley. Heavy touch. In the end, Bulleen get it back. Vulgaris over the top. McLennan is his target. Two number 11s battle for it. Jurkovic heads it into the path of Bulleen, though. Now McLennan will chase after it. Franjic just does the right thing and concedes the throw.
Well, McLennan and Kowal have changed wings again, so Kowal lasted about 7-8 minutes on this left side, and maybe they weren't happy with the way they were, or with their matchups, and McLennan's come back to this left wing as Scott Belletti chases the ball. It does fly towards that back fence due to the wind.
Looking for the path of Vulgaris, but in the end well shielded out by the Knights. So Seen this game, there hasn't really been, apart from the McLennan shot and the Petrevsky shot from the corner that scored the opening goal, there hasn't really been much goalmouth action in this one. Mullet's the one who attacked that ball. Sliding challenge by Duzel. Now the ball can be played forward. Gian Albano is offside, but the Bulleen Lions players aren't happy about that challenge. The Studs up, won the ball, but you can see them get penalised.
Yeah, of course, you can see them get penalised, but as you were saying before about Adam Bavkar, he likes to let the game go, likes to let the play flow, and he lets players make their decisions for themselves. Maybe that one did deserve a booking, but Knights are a goal down, and they will be chasing the clock very soon as the Knights are looking to break down this Bulleen Lions defence. And they have to go all the way back to Joseph Franjic.
So they're very well organised behind the ball, Bulleen. So quite happy to sit on this 1-goal advantage. Ball forward. Stravridis wins it back. Stays on the attack. Ball goes out for a throw.
Oh, the 1-0 advantage is enough, as we saw last night. All you need is the one to get yourself the win, and tonight on the line is a spot in the 2019 Dockerty Cup final, something that the Melbourne Knights are familiar with, as they do sit as the most successful club of the Dockerty Cup with 9 titles, if you will, behind Melbourne Hakoah, who are actually the second most successful Dockerty Cup team. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up over the next few years as more teams start to get their name on the trophy.
Such a historic trophy in Victorian football. As the Knights play forward, here's Watson. It's again looking to find that shooting range, and his shot goes wide with the left foot. It wasn't too far away, but Chant looked pretty confident that was going past his post.
Yeah, well, we just see how frustrated the Bulleen Lions technical area is here to our left. I mean, as Watson took that one on with his left boot, Chant could have looked confident, but as it did have that outswing, and it did go out, didn't test the keeper in the end, but very, very dangerous, and you could say the best Melbourne Knights opportunity of the first half.
Well, it's taken a slight deflection on its way through, so another chance for Sewell. So in another opportunity for Sewell to put this into a dangerous area. Ball goes in, headed away by Bulleen again. Sewell will get the chance to put it back into the mixer. Ball bounces and Chant comes out and collects. And in the end, he's seemed to have copped a little bit of an injury on the way through there. He's either caught a body or a muscle injury.
Yeah, it was a body there. As he jumped in front of Nikola Jurkovic, who's come back to his right back position, and Jurkovic is holding himself as well there for a sec. He copped the knock as well. But good to see Chant back on his feet and available to continue this game. It's a chance to go long. Ball bounces through. Once again, Franjic in the right position, but he slices that ball out. So he opens up another opportunity. Phil Petrevsky to whip it in. As we're getting closer and closer to half time, can Bulleen make the most of this wind advantage and get a second? Well, if you're Phil Petrevsky and you've got this on the left boot, what do you do, Chris? Do you go for that back post again?
Well, as we saw in the when they scored the goal, once again Mullet makes a nuisance of himself at the back post, so that doesn't allow the Knights to have somebody on that back post. So wait to see what happens. Petrevsky this time near post. That could have been a handball. Well, it definitely come off his hand, but that's definitely not deliberate. So it'll be another corner. Well,
protests from Bulleen Lions players, especially Vulgaris and Kuol, they're letting Adam Bavkar know about it, but Bavkar's decision, you believe, was correct there?
Well, as we wait for the other corner to come in, this time Watson keeps his hands completely clear of it. Over the head shot goes wide, but it's definitely come off his hands. He's just played the ball straight into his hand. If there's VAR and you slow it down about 50 times in the Champions League, he might have got a penalty for that, but not in NPL Victoria he won't.
Or the FIFA Women's World Cup.
That's it. So fortunately there's none of that here.
We play real football here in Football Victoria, don't we? I feel like with the VAR, it's important for the game, but I feel like it's misused a lot of the time. It's misused, and I feel like that sort of affects the game we love. So it's good to see that our refs here don't get to use it, and they get to enhance their refereeing abilities.
The ball finds its way to Glavin. Turns out of danger. Now Wad once again has to pick the ball up quite deep, as the Knights have Offley in midfield. Now he's got to drive the ball forward. What can Attila Offley create? He's got the overlap with Jurkovic. Once again, the pass from Attila Offley is just leaves it a little bit too short, and the sliding challenge by Jurkovic has cleaned up a Bulleen player.
Yeah, Scopoletti there copped it. Jurkovic has left a foot in there, and I feel like he's left a couple of studs, whether it be to the midriff of Scopoletti or into the quad. But as you can tell from the discomfort, Scopoletti's got to be in a bit of pain, especially with the cold muscles tonight. Any type of contact on a cold muscle leaves damage.
So Scopoletti now picks himself up. It's one of those challenges that both players didn't pull out of.
Well, as the through ball came for Nikola Jurkovic, you could tell the wind stopping it, and maybe the wetness of the pitch due to the rain here. Maybe it was slowing it down a bit, so it didn't go where it was intended to, and then a bit extra was left on the challenge.
It's nice through Offley. Once again, he's plenty of players around him. Albano, Giselle. Well does well on the blind side, but the Knights retain the ball with Glavin. Into the path. Albano looking to turn. In the end, trying to play the ball through to a wad. Looks like Jurkovic is now not feeling too great, and he's put himself down. So both sides been in a bit of the wars today.
Yeah, well, that'll be a big loss for the Knights if they lose Nikola Jurkovic, especially since they find themselves 1-0 down. But he has been involved in a few challenges there, leaving an extra foot in Scopoletti, giving a shoulder charge into Bulleen's keeper Chant. But it looks like
Luke Jurcic is the one being warmed up.
Yeah, it looks like Jurkovic is done for tonight as he goes straight off to the bench. And it's funny, these conditions, how they can affect the play, and we're going to see 2 first half substitutions.
Vulgaris tried to play it over the top to Kuol. Petrevski does well just to leave it. Now George Stavridis. Looking to create. Didn't see what he liked in front of him, Jawadi. Switching ball. It's going to bounce. Offley is able to control it with the chest. Can he find the right pass? He can. Giselle. Into the channel. Here's Watson. Looking to turn. Hamish Watson. Chant with the feet. Makes a smart save. And Bulleen will get out of trouble. He just scoffed that shot, I think, just a little bit, as now Kuol's going through the middle. Gifkins, did it come off a hand? Bavka says no. I must admit, it looked like it did come off Gifkins' arm.
Well, I mean, it's just opened up here in the last 30 seconds with the Knights down to 10 men, but that ball from Anthony Giselle was absolutely gorgeous as it found Hamish Watson going forward, but the big talisman for the Knights could not find the back of the net, as Corey Sewell is in a tough position here, facing the back of his goal as he's dropped into right back just as the Knights wait for Luke Jurcic to come on.
It's an overhit pass. Lutmer over the top. Ball will bounce and Gifkins will be able to collect that one. And there was a late challenge on Lutmer. He's the next one who might need some medical treatment. It was Jokovic for Jocic. Knights make that change.
Well, Corey Sewell will drop back into the defensive midfield role and Luke Jurcic will join into the play. Hasn't played much football this season, Luke Jurcic. Saw a lot more football over the last couple seasons than this year, but with the addition of Corey Sewell into the lineup and Nick Glavin returning, just has not been picked on a week-to-week basis. So this is his opportunity here tonight to maybe show what the Knights have been missing out on.
Petreski trying to keep it in play with a teammate, goes out for a throw. Now with Luke Jurcic, he was a really strong performer for the Knights last year. He was one of their better players throughout the season, so seeing Corey Sewell, and he said it was Glavin, Jokovic playing more fullback as well, it sort of made it hard for him to get those opportunities. What better way to prove your worth than performing and trying to get your team over the line here in a semi-final?
Yeah, well, I feel like Jurkovic played a lot more defensive midfield over the last couple seasons, and with the addition of Josef Franjic into the Knights lineup, that sort of pushed Jurkovic out to right back, and then Franjic got pushed into centre back, and there's been a whole little mix-up in terms of positions. But it just goes to show how versatile, or how important versatility is in football, and Knights are a great example of that.
The ball almost got over the top of Luke Jurcic. The first ball he had to really judge with the winds. In the end, skims off his head, and Bulleen get another late corner.
Yeah, he's gonna need to adjust to that. But good news for the Knights. They only have a couple of minutes left of this horrendous wind pushing against them as we wait for the fourth official.
So we've got 2 minutes to go up on the board. As Bulleen look to double their advantage before half-time. Back post delivery. It's too deep and goes out for a goal kick. A real wasted opportunity for Bulleen. We will know that they'll be really up against it in the second half. Sort of like, do you think a goal advantage with this wind is probably just about par?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could say it's a goal advantage. Just have a look at the corner that we witnessed in the 19th minute from Phil Petreski there. If you joined us late during this halftime break, make sure you go back to the 18th minute and have a look at the first goal of this contest. Well, the only goal of this contest, Chris. Phil Petreski straight from the corner, found the back of the net, and has given the Bulleen Lions, who are the underdogs in this contest, a 1-0 lead, which they will really need to hold on to in the second half.
As Bulleen have this free kick. Stavridis. McLennan trying to control it. Cool with a little snap volley and finds its way to Gifkins. At least now he's going to have the advantage to be able to clear the ball with his hands as well. Maybe in the end goes to the ground anyway. Plays it up to halfway. Watson trying to shield it. Stavridis over the top. Bulgaris away. Sewell. It's going up in the air. Bulgaris. A challenge there with Sewell. I think the ball's played off Corey Sewell. Goes out for a Bulleen throw.
Yeah, this will be the last opportunity here for the Lions, and not even that.
So Adam Bavkar signals for halftime here in the Dockerty Cup semi-final, and it is Bulleen Lions who have the lead. As we said, it's a real strong wind advantage in this game, and Phil Petrevsky was able to score direct from a corner, so it's Bulleen with the lead as we're just going to have a short little break, and we'll be back in halftime in about 10 minutes. Hello everyone and welcome back here to the second half at ABD Stadium. A half that saw Bulleen Lions make the most of a really strong win advantage, and Phil Petrevski was able to score direct from a corner. It's his goal that separates the two sides, but now it's the Melbourne Knights who will have that advantage, and as they look to move into attack now, Sewell and Glavin, the ball goes out. My name is Chris Gleeson. Welcome back to the second half. Josip Herzog.
Chris, thank you very much once again for having me. It was an interesting first half there. I didn't see too much difference between the two sides. I feel like the biggest difference was the conditions with this big wind, and I feel like these first 5 minutes, it's very cold here, these first 5 minutes of the second half are going to be very, very important, as the players have spent the last 10 minutes inside the change rooms, so it's going to take a few movements for them to get back into full ball. But both teams are very, very... Would you say that they're satisfied with the first half, both teams?
So the Knights would be disappointed to concede the way that they did, but as they look to move forward, Offley in towards Watson. Lutmer does well to get it clear. Vulgaris won't get there first. Over the top, Albano fights for it. And in the and out finds Vulgaris, coming through like a steam train with Sewell, and here's a chance for Watson! And just after the half-time break, it's Hamish Watson who rolls his defender, and the Melbourne Knights are back level.
Well, like I was saying there, Chris, these first 5 minutes are going to be very important in the first half, and didn't think they were going to be that important, but Hamish Watson comes up with the goods and finds a way to get it past Chant, who has been pretty good in goals so far for the Bulleen Lions, but it is the Melbourne Knights 1, Bulleen Lions 1, 47 minutes played.
Well, it didn't take long for the Knights to get back level. Must mean the Knights are one of the big momentum sides that I've seen so far this year. Once the crowd gets behind them a little bit and all the players throw themselves into challenges, really take it up to the best sides in the leagues, let alone taking it up against the Bulleen Lions in a league below them. So Bulleen's advantage is wiped out very early here in the start of the second half, and great football from the Knights again. Sliding challenge from Stavridis. Sewell mops it up again. Ball over the top. Watson lays it off. Albano's got a wad. What can Muhammad Awad do? Chance to lay it back into the path of Glavin, and the deflection come back off the Knights as Johnny Kuel come back to help his defence, and the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Well, I feel like this is going to be a very, very long second half for the Bulleen Lions. As you said there, Chris, their advantage, their single goal advantage was taken away from them very, very quickly, almost instantly here in the second half, and now against the wind, suffering what the Knights suffered in the first half, they're going to find it very, very difficult to play against the wind. As you can see there, the wind is really, really stopping the ball, especially when it gets up in the air. Going to have to dig deep, the Bulleen Lions, as they do win a foul there. Josh Knight, the challenge from Corey Sewell. We do understand that there is some broadcast interruptions on the Facebook stream. Just having a look, it seems like the YouTube stream is working fine. So if people are having problems with the Facebook stream, as always, move over to the YouTube stream. The ball's forward for Bulleen. Cross comes in. Vulgaris trying to keep it, cushion it to Johnny Kuol. And Giselle turns out of trouble. Now Glavin. Awad turns into trouble where there was 3 Bulleen players around him. Lutmer will bring it forward. Just a ill-directed pass. Gives it back to the Knights. Glavin. Lutmer gets it back. And in the end, the ball is smashed into Glavin, who had his hand out, and the handball has been given. We did see a couple of contentious
handball decisions in the first half, Josip, where it looked like Jordan Gifkins handled the ball outside the box, and we also saw the ball definitely hit Hamish Watson on the hand when he tried to clear it, but as I probably believe, it's probably the right decision. I think the Gifkins one was definitely a handball.
Yeah, see, I'm not too sure on the Gifkins one. I can't say that I had the best view of it from here. It's very hard to see the difference between it hit the hip area and a hand as Kowal advances.
Plays it forward, McLennan's sliding challenge. Saul won the ball. Once again, well positioned was Adam Bavkar, the referee for tonight's game. You see the intensity's really lifted here for the second half. So we wait to see who will join Hume City in the 2019 Dockerty Cup final. And the goal scorer, Petrevsky.
Well, you just see there, as Glavin tried to play that long switch across the field to Attila Offley, and it was a very important stop by Scott Belletti as he's got the outside of the boot there onto the ball. Had that one gone through for Attila Offley, he was onside, and he has been playing with a bit of confidence, and the Knights will believe that they're in the driver's seat here as they've been able to come back and equalise so early in this second half. But
got to negate this free kick from Bulleen. Right on the money, the header comes in. Mullet will be looking to retrieve it. Now, big centre half is just going to let the ball dribble out. And in the end, it's taken a touch, obviously off Bulleen, where that header did come into the box. So I think Mullet got a little bit confused there, but the Knights looking to move forward. Mullet is still out of position, so the ball gets played over the top. Stavridis heads it back. In the end, the wind will take it back to Chant. Now, has to negate against the winds. Does well to get it up over halfway. Coral trying to play it forward. Glavin. Utmar. In the midfield. Frontage lets it bounce. Now Gifkins. Ball's going to skip across the turf, and it's an easy one. Stavridis to head back.
Yeah, I feel like the likes of Gian Albano, Attila Offley and Mohammed Awad really have to pay attention, especially as the long balls do come forward for the Knights. It'll be very hard for Mullet and Stavridis, the centre-back pairing for the Bulleen Lions, to keep a hold of the Knights' attack as they go forward here.
Albano, he's into the box now, cuts it back just behind Giselle, and Bulleen will have to get it out through Iki Jawadi for another corner.
Yeah, it was nice and positive there from Gian Albano. He did use his pace there, but as you said, the cutback did come a bit too far from Anthony Giselle, who was oncoming, but maybe he could have held up his run a bit more there, Giselle. But they will be happy with the corner, and it's funny that they're going with the outswinger.
Sewell trying to flick it on the Knights. In the end, edge of the box, Attila Offley. Can he find the right cross? Lutma well positioned. Awad volleys it, and now the header comes in. And in the right spot at the right time, once again, is Hamish Watson, and he gives the Melbourne Knights the lead, and now they've got the foot into the Dockerty Cup final.
Well, Mohammed Awad, as he had the ball there, I thought maybe he might put this one into the back corner, back post, but Hamish Watson was there, and he did see a little gap between the back post and Chant in the Bulleen Lions goal, and he found it, and despite Chant's best efforts to get the ball out of there, he did punch it back into his own goal. So it is a Hamish Watson double here, and after 50 or so minutes played here at ABD Stadium, it is the Melbourne Knights who have a lead, and it is Melbourne Knights 2, Bulleen Lions 1.
Well, Hamish Watson, he's almost scored as many goals in the cup games than he has in the league this year. There's the big Kiwis on the ball again. Ball forward. Giselle turns out of trouble, trying to play that reverse pass through to Watson. Ball cut out, Bryce. Truzel, Melbourne Knights well on top here for the second half as Slaven Verenicevic is getting ready on the Bulleen bench. And fans of Kingston City would remember some of the goals he scored in the NPL. He actually scored an outstanding free kick a couple of years ago at Summer Street. Kingston's first season back in the top flight a few years ago. Verenicevic is now going to be coming on, and it's going to be Vulgaris to make way. So Bulleen's second change, with Vicky Jawadi replacing Peter Salman in the first half. Also seen for the Knights in the first half, Nikola Jurkovic having to make way for Luke Jurcic. So Vulgaris off. Verenicevic is on. And Scopoletti gets it cleared into midfield. Petrevski. See now more cautious Bulleen trying to play out from the back as the confidence is eroded from Hamish Watson. It's making the most of his two opportunities in this game.
Well, he managed the hat-trick in round 4 against Muralbuck, and then he managed another hat-trick against South Melbourne in round 7, and he's on a hat-trick now, so that would be amazing for the Kiwi striker if he was to manage to get his third hat-trick in this Knights Cup run.
As Jawadi goes over the top looking for Knights. The offside flag does go up against him. As they wait for the ball to go back to Gifkins. Be quite happy to be taking his goal kicks from this end of the field.
Yeah, especially after that first half where he had a couple of scares, but now he might need to wait passes as he slips there.
So the goal kicking errors continue for Gifkins at the moment. McLennan drives it forward, crosses it in. Knights half get it clear, and Sewell has been able to manage to calmly head the ball back to his keeper.
Yeah, I don't think, even if Gifkins missed that one, I feel like that one was going out for a corner. Wasn't heading into the goal, so it was smart there from Corey Sewell to not only head the ball back to his keeper, but put it in a position where if the keeper can't get to it, it won't concede a goal, as Bulleen do get the ball here.
Petrevski was, as we see with Corey Sewell, really made an impact for Bulleen last year from coming down from Queensland. Unfortunately, with Bulleen getting relegated, he had the opportunity to stay in the top flight with the Knights and has really made the most of his opportunities at Summer Street this year, whether at fullback and, as we've seen most recently, in midfield, as the Knights have an injury problem with Gian Albano down.
Well, we saw 2 first half substitutions. Iki Jawadi came on for an injured Peter Sawan, and Luke Jurcic came on for an injured Nikola Jurkovic. And since then, in the second half, we've seen Verenicevic come on for Vulgaris, but Gian Albano is heading to the other side of the pitch with the medical staff for the Knights, but I feel like he might be able to come on. We haven't seen any indication that he will be coming off. We'll keep an eye on that as the play continues.
Ball's back with Chant, as the Melbourne Knights fans now in the grandstand making full voice as they've seen their side, and Hamish Watson scored 2 second half goals to turn a 1-goal deficit into a 2-1 advantage.
As Gian Albano has rejoined the field of play. It's with Awad.
Can't find a teammate, and Jurcic will have the opportunity to throw it back in again. As we see the driving rain come across ABD Stadium.
And do you see the Knights fans, they have actually moved from behind the goal that they were attacking at in the first half. They've moved under the covers here at ABD Stadium. So just goes to show, I mean, as I'm looking just across to that floodlight where Awad's about to take the corner, the rain's really bucketing down here at ABD Stadium.
It's a chance here for Mohamed Awad to cross it in or even shoot from this range, as we've seen in the first half with Bulleen's goal. So Awad to deliver, it's high to the back post, too much on that. And in the end, the ball's going to find its way pretty much close down to Broady Valley Park. As the ball's now being played forward. Chant. As he gets ready to restart the game. It's going to be a change. So Gian Albano will have to come off, and it looks like it might be Whitney. False start from Whitney, who has a joke with the fourth official.
There he goes. He thought Gian Albano came off the other side, as Gian Albano does hold his midriff there. But it was very interesting there. I just did have a look while Mohamed Awad was taking that corner. I was looking at the Bulleen Lions goal, and Petreski was on the front post, and he was yelling out to Scopoletti to get back and cover the front post, and then Petreski ran to the back post to make sure that Awad doesn't put in what Petreski was able to do in the first half there. So it's very interesting to see that, but great leadership from the man in the middle.
As the ball finds its way to Jurcic, just couldn't find the right pass to Awad. Johnny Kuawa's run into danger. Now the Knights get the ball back. Whitney, first time to turn. Offley trying to play it through the channel. Once again, Mullet well positioned. And now Jawadi. Can't find the right pass for the moment. Over the top, Bryce. And the Knights have done well to hold on to the ball here with Glavin. And now they can open up the field here with Uzel.
I feel like that substitution there, I mean, yes, Gian Albano was injured, but Gian Albano wasn't playing his regular wing position. He was in sort of an attacking advanced midfield role, but I feel like putting Calvin Whitney in that position with the likes of Mohamed Awad and Attila Offley on the wings, it'll just shore up the Knights midfield and make sure that they have their best foot forward at keeping this lead, and if not, doubling it as we head towards the closing stages of this contest.
Well, the best that Bulleen really could have hoped for is, after having such a huge advantage in the first half, he's hoping that the wind would die down. It's done nothing but.
If anything, it's picked up, and so has the rain.
So ball forward, Sewell, Offley, Truzel and Sewell, and Knights happy just to retain possession for the moment with Franjic. As the captain looks to switch.
It'll be interesting though, as we are heading into the final 25 minutes of this match, unless we do see a draw which takes us to extra time, but we do have one substitution left for either side, so it'll be very interesting to see how the coaches manage that, especially with 3 injuries coming in today's game already. So
I do believe the Dockerty Cup semi-finals allow a 4th substitution in extra time as well too, so that might come in handy for both sides. Petrevsky, now Lutma. The option he's got out wide is Knight. And ran into danger, and they get the throw again, Bulleen. Bryce well positioned to get it back. And Bryce, as I've said many times on the NPL coverage this year, is one of the best centre-backs in the league since coming down from Edgeworth a couple of years ago. And now it's Franjic.
Lutma there just saying stay positive, as Bulleen, as you'd probably hope that they're not losing any belief here, as the Knights are controlling most of the ball and having play their way, but there was a bit of frustration there with that ball that Lutma played forward, as Josh Knight was coming in asking for the ball to his feet, and McLennan was asking for feet, and it went over the top. But they're just going to have to stay positive. They're still in it. There's only one goal in it, and if we know anything about cup football, anything's possible.
Dockerty throws it back in. We have seen some epic cup games in years gone past. We've seen upsets of second division sides and even, as you said, state league sides like South Springvale's run a few years ago.
Yeah, who can forget that 2014 run from South Springvale?
Wonderful work by the Knights. Offley, is it into the back? No. No fouls being given. It did look like it was a pretty solid contact in the back of Attila Offley, but once again, Adam Bavkar, he'll just wave that away.
Yeah, it was Scott Belletti there who left a bit on Offley, and it did look like as Offley was sort of lining up that diving header that there was a little push on the way, but as you said there, Chris, Adam Bavkar waving it away as he so usually does, lets the play flow, and
now it's Knight. Again, he's too many Bulleen players get around him, and Lutmar has played it wide. Glavin, Drizel. Now Glavin. Once again, the weight of numbers almost get it back. Glavin continues. It's good to see Nick Glavin back from his injury problems which he suffered the last few years, and now made his way back to the Knights as Offley trying to find the right pass. Waddle chased this down, and in the end almost got there, but just going back to the point there about Nick Glavin, you know, quite a few years where he's had some significant injuries. He really burst on the scene at the Melbourne Knights before making the move to Bentley and then I think Dandenong City as well, but it's good to see him back at the Melbourne Knights and playing some good football.
Yeah, well, he was at Victory's youth team alongside Anthony Giselle, who's on the pitch with him here tonight, but as you said, few injuries. He was at Dandenong Thunder this year. They did sign him, but he was injured for the first half of the season, and then he made his way back to the Knights, and now that they've that the Knights have swapped ends and Glavin's in front of us, now I see where that number 19's gone. He's got a 19 on his back, and Giselle's picked up the number 6, so little number change there for the Knights mid-season.
Chance goes wide, so we'll get it back. Great first touch from Watson. In the end he tried to go from range, and why not in the form that he's been in, but this time drags it well wide. Sort of looked up, it was like that Demba Papasise goal against Chelsea is what I was looking at. Hamish Watson trying to perform, but in the end that's definitely not what he performed.
Chris, you can't be mentioning that goal from Papasise. That goal hurt my heart directly. I still can't believe that thing went in. But
you must be a Chelsea fan then.
I am, and you must be a Newcastle fan.
I'm a Geordie fan, so as the ball's forward, Whitney trying to cross it in, and Watt will get it at the back post. Can he find the shooting range? He can, but in the end it goes straight at Chant.
We've seen Muhammad Awad put those away previously. He did get a goal, I think it was 2 rounds ago when they played against the Port Melbourne Sharks in that, I believe it was a 2-1 loss at JL Murphy Reserve.
And it looks like Bulleen might be getting ready to make their 3rd substitution of the game. They've got to try to change things up. As Tawab Tawfiq is getting ready. All forward. Bulleen haven't really had much of the play inside their attacking third in this second half. It's been well controlled by the Knights. Maybe they can create something here. McLennan trying to turn. Once again the Knights clear it. And now Awad. Space has opened up for him. Now he looks to try to tease his defender. It falls back to him. Crosses for Watson! Just evades him, and it evades the back post as well. And Melbourne Knights looking to get the 3rd. Wasn't far away.
Well, even through our headset here, I heard the groans from the other side of the pitch as the fans were just waiting for Watson to put that one in the back of the net and run off in celebration. But as you said there, Bulleen will be making that substitution.
As it will be to up Tufik. And it's going to be Daniel Scopoletti to make way, so the fullback will be making way. So we have to see what position Tufik will take up. Looks like he's still trying to get a bit of direction from the bench, but he'll be looking like Kual will be on the right hand side, McLennan up the top, and Tufik will be on the left hand side. Gets to the stage now where Bulleen just have to try to open the game up a little bit and try to get this goal that'll get them level.
Well, both sides have used up their substitutions and still about 20 minutes to go.
As McLennan turns. Once again, Knights get back in numbers quickly, but now Maranasevic can switch the play out wide. Tufik has now got it. First touch is in the box. He tries to go past Jurcic, who slid in. Tufik holds on to the ball. Jawadi. Pass is left a bit short, but McLennan will be able to take it. Kowal looked for the reverse pass. And in the end, Glavin finds Giselle. And in the end, the Knights just get it clear. See the Melbourne Knights bench and Marajan Smitkovic not happy with his side defending in that position. Lutmar lets the ball run. Now McLennan. Bryce does well to use his body. He gets the ball. Giselle. Just feel there's going to be one more big moment for Bulleen to try to get level in this game. With a run through the middle here from Sewell. Runs from midfield. The ball just evaded him. Stravridis with a great challenge. Now Jawadi turned into trouble. Now it's back with Watson. He's got a wad. Decides to slow it down. Sewell. And Lutmer will just be able to cushion it back to the keeper, but the Knights, it was well open there, just the wrong pass.
Yeah, that was very poor there from the Knights. I mean, Watson didn't want to play a wad through, and he could have slipped it through to Mikulic on the left, and then came to Sewell, and it was just, I think, more careless as the ball came over the top. It didn't really have any direction or anything, you know, sort of. I don't know, it was just, I feel like the Knights could have maybe taken advantage of that and put the game to bed. But especially with Bulleen now, they're only playing with three in the back, so they are putting themselves forward and making sure that they can get numbers forward. So it will be Knights sort of maybe playing on the counter-attack, but they could have evaded that had they maybe worked that last attack a bit better.
They've got to try to create something out of nothing, Bulleen, to get back into this game. At the moment, the Knights have found it way too easy to defend here in the second half. Bulleen had the ball out. And Watt will be in no rush. As we're getting closer to the final 15 minutes of this game. Hamish Watson's 2 second half goals have turned this game around. As the Knights have used this wind advantage to full advantage. Ball to midfield. Jawadi slips over. It's going to open it up for the Knights. Corey Seal. So Sewell goes short. Here's a chance. A wad. He's onside. Mohammed Awad. And he shoots wide.
Well, there goes another one, Chris. I mean, that's two very, very good opportunities for the Knights in quick succession, and they haven't been able to make the most of it, and their lead only does stand at 1 at the moment with the 2-1 scoreline. So the Knights will be hoping that they don't get punished for missing these opportunities, but just goes to show, I mean, Bulleen they are in a bit of a pickle here at the moment because they do have to put numbers forward. They have to get themselves that goal, but faced with the conditions up against the wind, they're leaving themselves well exposed at the back. So it'll It'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out.
It's Franjic. Plays it out wide. Now look, Jurcic. Lions happy just to possess the ball for the moment. Now Franjic into the midfield. Flicked on there by Watson. Looking well positioned. Once again, ball into the channel. McLennan. Daniel McLennan. Tries to cut back inside. It's a great run from him. Couldn't find Kuol. Knights get it clear now. Watson. He's got numbers forward in midfield. Can he find the right pass? It's a little bit heavy. Chant did well to read that and come off his line. Knights can stay on the attack with Sewell and now Whitney. Watt's got Mullet in front of him. Crosses it in, fired it in, Phil Petrevski. Comes back to Awad, and once again he fires over the top. Just as teammates were looking for the cutback as Muhammad Awad went for glory.
Yeah, Calvin Whitney found himself in an attacking position there, and he was calling for the ball from Muhammad Awad, especially after the first challenge, after the first strike came back to Awad. They thought maybe they thought that he would cut it back into him, but Awad has tried another opportunity, and once again, another great opportunity for the Knights.
So the Knights just have had a couple of opportunities to kill this game that you haven't taken. Chance ball's up in the air. Awad. Great challenge comes through from Bulleen. Now Knight. We're going to drive it forward into the channel. Coles and McLennan. Once again, strong challenge there by Bryce. Now Mikulic. Over the top. Giovanni will get there first.
Yeah, well, just that one, maybe about a minute and a half ago, when McLennan was weaving past Nick Glavin there on the right wing when he got into the box. It was Adam Bryce who managed to intercept the cross that came in, and since then he's managed to win the ball again 3 times. So, like you said, and you've said it many times this season, one of the best defenders in the league this season, and he's just proving it week in, week out. Adam Bryce, very, very tough to play against and get past.
Ball's forward. Franjic. Come off the wrong foot for him, and that's going to open the opportunity for Bulleen with this corner, who you know we're going to commit plenty of numbers forward. Phil Petrevski will be looking with that left foot in swinger. Too much to ask for him to score again from a corner against the wind this time, as he did in the first half with the wind. As numbers bunch up at the back post. How's the delivery from Petrevski? It's near post. Knights get it clear, but Petrevski will get the chance to cross it back in again. Header comes in, a free header from Tuad Tawfiq, and it puts it wide, but that was a great opportunity.
Yeah, well, I think Bulleen would have wanted somebody else on that ball, like McLennan or Kuol maybe, or Knight, but it was Tuad Tawfiq who got onto that. He's trying to keep his teammates motivated and positive. Said it before, I'll say it again. The Knights have missed a fair few opportunities since taking the 2-1 lead, especially over the last 6 or 7 minutes. And maybe Bulleen finding a bit of urgency to play some attacking football, but they will be leaving themselves exposed.
Tawfiq in midfield. Once again, a good sliding challenge from the Knights. Tawfiq comes back and wins it. Petrevski. Kuol looking to turn. It was well read there. And now the Knights. Watson. Zaswell just plays it off the defender and gets the Knights to throw.
Little banter there between Watson and Lutmer. Lutmer wearing the captain's armband for the Lions as Glavin looks to throw this one in.
Do look at the loyalty of some of these Bulleen players with Lutmer and Mullet, who have shown that they're high quality players in the top division, but they like the Bulleen Lions, they've stuck with them, so they're looking to try to get them back into the top flight again. But more immediate things here is trying to get him into a cup final. Good challenge on Franjic on Knight.
Yeah, that was a great run there from the both of them. But the challenge from Franjic was absolutely perfectly timed, and on the run back towards the box, they did shake hands there. Just that mutual respect between both parties, as it does go out for a Melbourne Knights goal kick.
So all the hands went up. Bulleen trying to con the referee, saying it come off a Knight's head, but it's a Knights with a goal kick.
Well, we're into the final 10 minutes now of regular play in this Dockerty Cup semi-final.
Well, I must admit, if the rumours are to be true, it's going to be a lot colder in Ballarat for a final than what it is here at ABD Stadium.
I don't think I've heard those rumours, Chris.
It's just going on a little bit that it might be a regional final, but we'll wait to see what happens.
Well, that'll be very, very interesting. How regional are we talking? Ballarat?
Ballarat. But we'll wait and see. Obviously no official confirmation of finals venues yet. Probably are jumping the gun a little bit as we're still waiting to see who will be in the finals. Chant comes out and gets the ball here from Watson.
It's great reading of the play there by Chant to get in front of Watson. Watson, a tricky striker, but he got the ball fair and square as Tafik breaks now.
Great turn. McLennan in the channel. Is this the chance for Bulleen to try to get level? And in the end, no foul has been given as McLennan was pleading with the referee that his ankles were clipped. In the end, Adam Bavkar shrugs the challenges away, and the Knights will have another goal kick.
Yeah, no penalty there. Adam Bavkar doesn't give penalties away too regularly. They have to be earned, and they have to be
pretty clear cut from him.
Yeah.
As the Ossip and me both turn away from the rain that's pouring through the scaffolding here. I hope you're enjoying the coverage at home, even though we do realise it will be pretty wind affected with the mics.
Well, it will.
But we've braved the cold so the people at home don't have to, Yossip.
Yeah, that's the one, Chris, and I've tried to speak as clearly as I could to make sure that you can understand us.
And in fact, I've just got a message through too that the cup final's already been decided at Kingston. So don't ever. That's a lesson for anybody who's either on commentary. Don't go with rumours. Go with facts, and hard facts are that it seems like it's going to be at Kingston the final.
Kingston Heath. Interesting.
So it will be at Bentley as the rain's really, once again, really picked up as we can see there. As Nathan Sack gives us a good picture of that, our cameraman for tonight, one of the best in the business, who's braved the cold with us here. Can Bulleen get a late equaliser? Into the channel, McLennan won't get there first. Franjic. Now Gifkins will have to go off the left. Contact was good enough. The ball stays in play.
Well, that was, I think, the greatest touch Nick Glavin or any footballer has ever taken. As it looked like it was going to go out for a throw. The spin kept it in.
Now Chant will bring the ball forward. Tafik in midfield. So he's come on and trying to make this impact. In the end, Bulleen get the throw. It's not long away. Melbourne Knights with this slender advantage. But in truth, Bulleen haven't really created much in this second half. It's just as Knight was about to move forward, the offside flag has gone up.
Moving into the last 6 minutes of regular time. Not long left here for the Bulleen Lions to conjure up something in the attacking third and find themselves an equaliser. As
well, you see then the pass wasn't really that far away from Watson, but that bit of rain on the turf, it skips away from him. And it's just as we're about ready to have a monsoon through here, Broadmeadows, Yossip's Chant.
And that just goes to show what we've been talking about all night, Chris. try with the goal kicks, but very, very hard. No, I can't believe that the Knights actually haven't put more onto the press to take advantage of it, get a 3-1 lead and make sure that these last couple minutes you don't get surprised, because the Knights really, especially in this position where they are now, will not want to go to extra time, especially with the big Melbourne derby coming up this weekend.
That's good work. Bulleen get it back, but once again they get forced back to the goalkeeper, who, as we're saying, can't really clear the ball that far. He's actually done well to get that to halfway as he slipped on the turf. Tafik sliced it back. Chance going to have to come and try to collect this. And in the end, he's just going to have to clear it to the sidelines, because if he kicked that ball back in play, there was a good chance the Knights would get there first.
Just had a look at that ball. That one hasn't ended up on that synthetic that's behind this main pitch, but I don't think anyone will be in any hurry to get that match ball, especially if they don't have to.
Fortunately, the fourth official had another one that he was keeping warm. Ball goes out for another Melbourne Knights throw. Not far away, the 2014 Dockerty Cup champions aren't far away from being back into the Cup final. As Josip, you said, 9-time winners, the Melbourne Knights, the most successful club in the Dockerty Cup. And it's a long and illustrious history. They're looking to take on Hume City, who'll be looking to win the Dockerty Cup for the first time.
Well, they've been an unlucky team, Hume City. They have found themselves into the semi-finals on nearly every season for the last 6 or 7, but they have not been able to get into the final. But this season they have, and what better way, or what a better team to play against than the most successful club in the competition. So if it does stay this way in these final couple of moments, it'll be a very, very interesting final.
As the ball goes out for another Knights throw, they're quite happy just to keep it in the corner for the moment. And then the challengers come in. Bulleen, sliding challenge was late. Knights wanted to take the advantage, but it's going to be a yellow card. Looks like it's going to be presented on the far side there to
Calvin Whitney, I believe.
So Whitney has the substitute, thrown his body around. He's had a couple of fouls since coming on. Now it's a chance for Mikulic to chase after. He's got time to turn back inside. Crosses it in. In the end it's cleared, and now it falls for Sewell. Will he try his luck? In fact, he probably should have tried his luck as he tried to play the ball back to Mikulic. So a chance ready to restart again.
Do correct me if I'm wrong there, Chris, but that yellow card to Calvin Whitney, I believe, was the first yellow card of the game.
It is the first yellow card of the game. Hasn't been many fouls in this game as well, as we say, Adam Gafkar's really let this game flow.
It's been a clean affair, and for a semi-final cup tie, I mean, the first yellow card coming in the 87th minute is a rare find.
Right. In fact, yep, Corey Sewell has got a yellow card as well too, I believe. So, as Nathan Sack, our cameraman's let us know. So Jurcic over the top. And in the end, it goes out for another throw. Bulleen, time is running out. Can they create the chance that'll get them level late in this game? Knight cleared away from him. Now Sewell. Ball's battling midfield. Sewell just knees it forward. Mullet will have a chance at a second go. Once again, it's the Melbourne Knights who pick up the scraps. Mohamed Awad. Now Whitney will go back to Gifkins, who's going to get, looks likely he'll get the chance to play in another Dockerty Cup final. Had his heroics at ABD Stadium 2 years ago, where he come across with the best on ground medal. which unfortunately for for Bentley at the time, ended in a defeat to Heidelberg on penalties. Petresky. Now Varanasevic. A little bit of room in midfield. Back to Petresky. Feet couldn't reel it in as 3 minutes goes up for stoppage time. What have Bulleen got to throw at the Melbourne Knights? Stavridis. So again, they're finding it hard to get through the Knights. Petresky just looks in to play it over the top, and again the wind will hold that up. Jurcic. What stops the ball and plays it forward? We're not far away now. Chant long. Actually, no Bulleen players really there trying to attack that ball.
Great work from the security guard there, making sure the ball doesn't run away, as Bulleen will have to throw absolutely everything they've got forward now.
Get the foul. How many are they going to commit forward for this one? It's once again, it will be difficult to get a dangerous delivery into the box unless you go to the near post and with a flat delivery. So,
well, Chant is going up. First minute has already been played of stoppage time, so less than 2 minutes remaining now. So this could even be Bulleen's last chance, but it is Chant who's up.
So Wyatt Chant, big goalkeeper.
It's going to be Petresky, the goal scorer from the first half, to whip it in.
Everyone back defending for the Knights as the ball goes in, up in the air. Ball goes wide. Chant's going to have to retreat back to goal. So it was always going to be a difficult chance as the ball's played forward by Sewell. We'll go out for a throw, Jawadi. Goes back to the goalkeeper. Now Chant back in position.
Into the final minute now, Chris.
Bulleen committing plenty of numbers forward. Squall goes over the top. Glavin will get there first. Puts it out for a throw. Lutman wants to give it to his teammate and get this game going quick. Stavridis. Into the box, Kuol. Couldn't head it on to a teammate. Knights clear.
Oh, this has to be the last opportunity now, Chris.
Jawadi. Great ball from Jawadi. Will it stay in play? It won't. It evades Knight and goes out for a goal kick.
Adam Bavkar did look at his watch there at the end of that one, and Jordan Gifkins will be in no hurry to take this one.
As we're into the final seconds of this one, it looks like the Melbourne Knights will be joining Hume City in the 2019 Dockerty Cup final. As the Knights fans in the grandstand find their voice again. Gifkins long. Watson heads it away. Adam Bavkar looks at his watch and blows full time here. It is the Melbourne Knights who come back and defeat the Bulleen Lions, and they are into the Dockerty Cup final. There was a goal from Phil Petresky in the first half for Bulleen and two Hamish Watson second half strikes. And Melbourne Knights are into the cup final again.
Well, as you said, there was Petresky in the 19th minute of the first half. Straight from the corner, did find that back post. And straight from kickoff for the Knights in the second half. They were on the press, and it only took them about 90 seconds to find the back of the net. Watson with a nice turn outside the box, had a nice strike and found the back of the net. And then it doubled up just 9 minutes later in the 55th minute to make it 2-1 with a header at the back post. And even though they had opportunities to get a few more, those two were enough. And after a solid performance in these horrid conditions for football here at ABD Stadium, the Melbourne Knights have managed to get themselves into the Dockerty Cup final, where Hume City awaits. And congratulations to the Knights.
So Bulleen Lions Cup run ends in the semi-final, Knights into the final. It's been great to call this game for you at ABD Stadium. We hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And for everyone back at home, thank you and good night.